everyone, welcome to my vlog of our scientific investigation trip to Arjun Mountains in Xinjiang. I am thrilled to be joining with the scientists from Chinese Academy of Sciences on this incredible journey. We delve deep into the heart of this rugged mountain range, from wildlife encounters to scientific breakthroughs, capture all the amazing moments both on and off camera. I can't wait to show you everything that happens on this once-in-a-lifetime journey. The Arjun Mountains, along with Lopnor, Haxel, and Qiangtang, is known as one of the 4 no-man's lands in China. Here, nature reigns supreme and civilization is scarce, creating an extraordinary experimental site for natural environments. Since 1984, this is the first whole-area comprehensive field research to be done in the Arjun Mountains. The team is led by Dr. Chen Xi, head of the Xinjiang branch of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, and he told me a lot has changed in the last 3 decades.
我们这次有3个组吧，一个就是我们就是做这个水文水资源调查的组，那么主要是针对气候变化对这个地方河流呀、湖泊呀、冰川呀这地方的调查，这是一个组。第二个呢，就是验证我们去年做的这个卫星遥感呀，还有他们拍的一些无人机的照片，看到的这个地方的生态系统，包括植物动物的变化，到底实际来看一下，到底是不是这样的这个状况，要做一个验证。那么第3个就是做我们的动物种群的数量的和那个调查，通过我们的验证呢，想看一下到底卫星图片上能不能反映出来这些变化。
We just arrived at the Ishakpati Center Station. So basically their responsibility is to protect the eastern area of Arjun Nature Reserve, protect the wildlife here and also investigate and research the natural resources here. We have over 30 people in this expedition, from scientists and researchers to support staff and crew members, and to transport everyone and everything from camping gears to high-tech scientific instruments. And of course, we have packed plenty of food and water to keep us fueled up in the journey ahead. These are our sleeping bags. We're going to spend 1 night here, and tomorrow morning we're going to head out deeper into the Arjun Mountains, and tomorrow night we're going to camp outside. I am a little bit excited, a little bit nervous because I've never camped before, and we'll make it. Our first research site is situated in the desert landscape.
我们的位置在这儿，对吧？这是沙丘，是吧？
一会儿直接从这里翻过去，看这个。
The world of scientific research can sometimes feel dry and inaccessible, filled with technical terms and models that require years of rigorous study to understand. However, I'm with a team of approachable and knowledgeable scientists who have taken it upon themselves to make this journey accessible through their generosity and eagerness to share their expertise, for us to gain a rare glimpse into the world of cutting-edge research.
你看这个沙漠啊，这个沙子啊是个白颜色的，特别白。高原这个4000多米的沙漠是很少能见到的。
你看它有几种颜色，黑的叫黑云母，红的是含铁的，对吧？从这个来看，就是它的红的成分很少。你一比较，那边是红的成分。
对，那边沙子看着颜色就……
这个呢和那边的形状完全是两回事，
对，
对吧？这个它来源一定是这边，就是它有风。对吧？河边上吹下来的，所以它叫本地的沙岩。那个是哪来的？我们不知道，要去看。
哇，
这么一个大沙丘，这里有一个大湖。
这个水从哪儿来？你要说这个水从那儿来的，可是你看它的水位， 高多了。那么就说它从那儿过来的水，这可能性没有吧？对吧？水往低处流嘛，对吧？那好了，我们下面考虑一个问题，就是这个地方年降雨量300毫米，那这300毫米降水都跑哪儿去了？沙子是不能存水的吧？
对。
那么它下来这个地方，你要打通底下，它一定是有一个叫做不透水层。
哦，能把那水蓄积起来。
对，它一定是你打进去、打钻下去，一定有个不透水层，对吧？所以，所谓泉，也无非就是上面的水在这渗出来而已。
您刚才说这个沙子的成因，
回到我们刚才的问题，你看这里面的结构，
这很粗。
第一粗，因为我们在上头，它风力比较大。第二，它那个红的那部分是明显的多于你现在这块。
来比一下，
你看，
是，
对吧？
对，
红的可能是铁，也可能是干旱环境，所以它的生成一定是一个非常高热的时候，它这氧化过程很强烈，才有红色。那么这个呢，可以说明这个来源和这边一定是不一样的。这边显然是氧化过程没有那么强。
对。
有专家说这是从塔克拉玛干沙漠来的嘛，但是我是有质疑的，因为它过来要有动力，有没有足够的动力？第二，它有没有足够的路径？两个问题解决了，才能够谈它是不是从哪儿来的。要做它的研究，就要找它的沙源，这个沙源是从哪儿来的。
Every step of this scientific expedition will pose unique challenges. The rugged terrain and unpredictable weather require us to be prepared physically and mentally for whatever lies ahead. We soon find ourselves facing our first hurdle: a trapped vehicle.
We're going to make a detour here because the sand here is too deep and too loose. There's no way we can climb that dune because, you know, the vehicle is not powerful enough. Now we're going that way and make a detour.
We press on along the path, but our progress is soon brought to another abrupt halt. This time, a wildlife threat.
不能走，他这不动可以，一动他们就攻击你。不动不动。别走。别走。他说我把你的车顶翻了，他那个尖角会残忍。别动，不能动。别带着动了。哎，别在上面停，可不能在这停。好吓人！太吓人了，这家伙过来可不得了。
This is the moment I realized that we are not simply exploring a piece of remote territory, but navigating a functioning ecosystem where we are merely visitors in the wilderness. Relief is only short-lived after we arrive at the sand dunes as planned, because we encounter yet another tough situation: a massive sandstorm.
It's really windy right now. My face is hitting by the sand.
Climbing the sand dunes becomes even more arduous as the team struggles to adapt to the thin air at such a great height. Breathing is getting labored, and each step feels like a test of endurance. Yet the scientists remain determined to march towards the heart of the desert, driven by their quest to uncover the origins of the sand and discover answers to their many questions.
Look at the sand dune. It is huge.
这种规模，这么大的沙丘，靠这种小河流是没有可能这么大的沙的。
The sandstorm grows more intense by the minute. We've walked 2 kilometers in the desert and are not even halfway. the scientists start to reconsider the feasibility of our plan.
如果我猜测不错，我们现在看的都是这宽宽的河，这边就是一片曲流，对吧？有的时候有水，有的时候没水。那么我们要去的地方呢，一定是过了曲流最那头，完了还有要绕着山进去，专门有一条转出的路径。这个像今天这种天气，风险太大了。
Safety first. We just checked the satellite map. We need to walk across a major walk along it, and there's a long way to go to find the spring. Sandstorm is coming, it's stronger, and if we go there, you know, it will be difficult for us to drive back. So we are heading back now.
觉得遗憾吗？有？
对，比较遗憾的，没有走到那个湖边上，还是比较遗憾的。
科考永远是这样，不可能圆满。
You can never predict the result. You will never know what will happen in the next second.
There's always room for improvement. Right? This is why we do science.
It's a difficult call to make, but it's not long before I realized how lucky we were. We made the right call.
沙尘暴来了，沙尘暴来了，所有车都停一会儿，停一会儿。全停了。
The visibility was down to zero, and the dangers of forging ahead would have been far too great to ignore. There's unlikely to be a chance to return anytime soon, considering our tight schedule. There's a sense of disappointment amongst the group that they weren't able to touch on all the answers they had been seeking. However, the scientists remain undeterred by this setback and recognize that this experience has allowed them to uncover new and exciting questions they may not have considered before.
对科学家来说，最重要的不是答案，是最重要的是一种怎么说呢？发现问题的这个想法或者发现问题的眼睛。只要能发现问题，答案总是会在这个抽丝剥茧中积累起来的。但是真正能发现问题，这个才是最重要的事情。
There's no time to lament the disrupted plan. We set off towards the next destination, Ayakam Lake.
咱们要在这个湖边取一个水样。这个湖呢，现在已经是危险水湖了，所以说我们想监测一下这个湖水的水质的咸度的情况。
现在是北纬37度，东经90度。
The lake water is bone-chillingly cold. In order to obtain more accurate results and gain a full understanding of the hydrological conditions, the scientists break through the thick ice layer and collect water samples multiple times.
目前我们在艾克库姆湖的上游、中游和下游分别采了6个水样。水样的这个采样呢，我们主要是想了解一下这个阿雅克库木湖这个水质的这个空间的这个分布变化这个情况。这个源头呢，我们现在是初步是测量到了它是比较淡水的，然后在这个阿雅克库木湖的西部还是属于盐度比较高的，是没法被这个人或者是牲畜饮用的。所以说我们特别想了解一下什么情况造成了这种盐度不均的这种分布的情况。这个我们初步的这个想法呢，就是从这个地表水、地下水这个综合的这个方面来进行考察。好，下一个10个点就可以了。
10个点位。
对，我们现在是用这个电导这个找水仪来测量这个地下水的水位。刚才咱们说了，这个地下水可能对我们这个湖体有补给作用，所以说我们找到地下水的水位以后，就知道这个确切的是地下水补给这个湖体，还是湖体在补给地下水。应该是大概率应该是地下水在补给湖体的。如果是找到了这个地下水的这个大体水位以后，我还可以定量来计算出来有多少水是通过地下水来补给湖水的，而不是通过咱们那个沙子泉那口小泉眼来补给整个湖面的。这是电导的等值线图，通过不同的颜色代表不同的电导率，一层一层的就是代表着我们可能想知道的这个海水层的这个深度。刚才的测量呢，我们是用了100米之内的这个测量范围，所以说呢，我们只能是测量到100米之内的地下水的这个分布情况。 这个100米之内的地下水分布呢，目前是10几米呢有一个地下水含水层，然后50多米呢有一个地下水含水层。这个和我们那个初步的这个理解是相符的，就是说阿尔克库姆湖呢不光是靠地表水进行补给，而且有这个浅层地下水，而且我们还可能是有这个深层的承压水。这个深层的承压水呢，也可能是有一部分呢是通过间歇水的这个方式流到湖里来的。
The hydrological research team also makes new discoveries, the presence of multiple layered groundwater. With excitement of the new found and anticipation to uncover more, we began our first night camping under the stars.
好好，
去吧。
吃了1个饼就够了，一定要吃饱。
See, this is our dinner tonight. It's pretty luxurious, considering sleeping, camping outside. We have this steamed cake, and we also have beef here and stirred tomato and egg, and I made a soup here to warm us up.
In Chinese, this is called 豪华之旅。出野外的乐趣就在于此。
Look at the moon. It is a full moon night, and we can admire the moon tonight. What an experience. So cold. Okay, this is my bed. Good night.
At minus 20 degrees Celsius and 4,700 meters above sea level, the outdoor camping experience is a great challenge for everyone in the team. Unfortunately, some suffer severe altitude sickness and require an emergency descent, but the rest of the team move on. As the expedition on the northern slope of the Arjun Mountains comes to an end, we set out for a new chapter, the southern slope.
前面这2-3天主要是对阿尔金山的北部进行了考察。那么从这2天的情况来看，那么气候变化对这个地方的影响是比较大的，主要是有3个比较明显的变化。一个就是水量增多了，你看我们湖泊都在增大。第二个呢，明显的感觉到这个风沙好像是比以前要更加严重了。这个我们亲自碰到了这个真正的这个沙尘暴，刮了2天，也影响了我们很多的这个计划。那么第3呢，就是通过温度升高以后，这个山上的冰雪融化速度加快，山下的因为水量增加，野生动物的数量和种群也在增加。我们今天的目标就是翻过这个中间阿尔金山中间的这个打板，大概5300到5500米，这个打板到阿尔金山的南部。那么那个区域的气候条件和这北部呢还是不一样的，主要我们面临的就是冰雪这一块对我们的挑战。那么车能不能翻过打板，会不会陷到这个冰雪里头出不来？我们只带了3天的油料，如果里头碰到一些特殊的情况怎么办？如果是大风天气，我们在哪里住宿能够度过这零下10几度的这个高寒？
As we start our trek to the south, the altitude continues to rise, and the vegetation and wildlife become increasingly scarce. The weather grows colder with each passing hour, and the landscape transforms before us, with snow and ice steadily accumulating.
我早上听刘铁老师讲说，咱们是第1支进西部的科考队啊。
西南部这一块进来的可能还有，然后再往金鱼湖。 我们东南部的基本上这地方很少有人去了，包括我们昨天跟那个我们的向导还有他们管护站的，他们只有3个人到过我们今天出发要去的地方，就包括他们管护站只有3个人去，所以这个地方还是一个真正的一个无人区。你看这个冰川的海市蜃楼，这个冰川就像这个一个大的 冰湖上面立的一个大的一个冰川。
你想，咱们是车开得很快，还可以慢慢，就是说你可以看啊，你要是如果在当年你就是走路呀，对吧？骑着骆驼，你像这个就走1天呐。 你往这个方向被它扯走一天，那你可能就完全失去方向。
你看这个冰斗，冰川形成的一个陡状的。
冰川的整个结构就是上面是冰斗，是积雪，积雪完了慢慢的聚集，在一定的压力情况下，它形成了冰，形成了冰。当它一定的满的时候，它就会往下流下来。等往它从冰斗中流出来以后，我们见到的就是一串一串的冰川。
所以冰川最开始形成前都是由这个冰斗，
都是由冰斗造成的。所以在所有的冰川上面一定有个冰斗。
So that is the mother of all glaciers.
沿着这个二金山，我们看到丘边洼造成的大量的冰雪的融化，很多的冰斗已经都干涸了。那么大规模的这个冰川在退缩，那么对这个区域也是影响是非常大的。
This is the milestone. See? Xinjiang Arjun Mountain National Nature Reserve. Milestone. So from this point out, this is the southern part of the Arjun National Nature Reserve. This part is the northern part. We are going south. That is the true unmanned zone. Exploring the unknown. Above that point, that would be the highest point of our trip. Now we are waiting here for our off-road truck because, you know, he drives slow because the truck is really big. After we see the truck, we can keep going. 我们现在离目的地还有多久啊？
大概还有2个半小时车程。
我还以为停车是因为快到了呢。
没有，是收拢一下我们车队嘛，拉得太远了。
Yeah, that was a really bumpy road. Yeah, it was tough. We still have 2.5 hours to go, and the altitude here is about nearly 4,900 meters. I'm feeling good. Still okay. What about you?
I'm not feeling good. Actually, I'm so cold.
It is cold here.
Yeah.
It is cold. Freezing cold.
Freezing cold.
Yeah, because the altitude is so high, and we already have team members that are suffering from high altitude sickness. We have prepared oxygen for them for some relief. After climbing the 5,100-meter high mountain pathway, also the highest point of our expedition, the journey on the southern slopes seems relatively easy. Our focus turns to hydrological research on the Whale Lake, named after its resemblance to a whale.
鲸鱼湖呢，我们主要是开展几项活动。第一个呢叫水质调查，因为鲸鱼湖呢目前是一个咸水湖，我们想了解到这个咸水湖的这个它的盐度啊、矿化度的情况。然后这个咸水湖呢，第二个呢就是在前期的是用作咱们那个蠕虫的养殖。然后我们想了解一下目前这个蠕虫在这个经过怎么说呢，这个养殖业废弃过多年以后，这个蠕虫自然的这个状态下还能有保存多少这个种群群落。然后第三呢，我们想了解一下这个当地的这个自然的这个环境，然后我们准备用无人机飞一下这个周边的这个地形地貌。
Yet the environment proves to be harsh and unforgiving. Although the blue skies, white clouds, and snow-capped mountains pose a stunning backdrop, it is a difficult task just to walk on the surface of the lake.
小心点。
我感觉去不了，可能去不了了，可能有冰。
淹水没有？
冰的厚度太。
The ice layer is too thick, so there's no way to collect the water sample from here. They can't even dug the ice because it's really thick. I'll show you.
结了冰以后，那冰上什么都没有。
找到蠕虫了吗？
没有，一点没有。碰不到。
For me, the expedition has generated even more questions. However, the scientists explain that as with any scientific endeavor, these questions are exactly the next step in the research.
这次科考活动呢，是一个综合性的一个科考的一个考察活动，是在我们这个科考项目当中呢，是一个怎么说呢，是一个环节，是让我们初步了解到每个片区一些特殊的一些那个地理或者是生态的或者是环境的一些状况。我们这个项目呢是在全疆范围内所布置的，所以说不光是针对我们阿尔金山地区，而且我们后期呢会对阿拉泰地区或对这个帕米尔地区都要进行相似的一些活动，开展相似的活动。
The journey of discovery is never-ending, and they're excited to continue their work as the Arjun Mountains is only one part of the comprehensive expedition encompassing the entirety of Xinjiang. With plans on their way to launch an integrated monitoring network and a big data platform, the potential for more groundbreaking discoveries is limitless.
通过这个数据平台的建立，我们把第一次科考、第二次科考、第三次科考所有的数据综合到一起，那么这个平台就为我们政府做下一步的决策提供一个基础的这个科学数据的支撑。第二呢，也是为我们研究这个整个新疆和这个周边这个大的区域的这些科学家们、研究者呢，提供一个基础的这个资料。第三呢，就是这个数据平台的搭建，我想也是为全球研究这个气候变化、人类活动影响和做这个可持续发展这一块会提供一个非常大的支撑作用。
As I say goodbye to the Arjun Mountains, I am left with a sense of admiration and gratitude for the dedication and passion of these scientists and their unwavering pursuit of knowledge at the heart of scientific discovery. It is the end of this chapter, but only the beginning of a long and exciting journey of discovery.
爽
！3、2、1，
爽！亚克西，
亚克西。